Judgment Week in the state of Florida. Week 8 action from Central Florida all the way around the state. Jacksonville, South Florida, Central Florida, Tampa Bay. It's a hotbed world. Next.
Hello again and welcome to the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report driven by Honda. I'm Brandon O'Doy. Once again, an exciting week of high school football action here in the great state of Florida. We're on the road in Central Florida at Lake Mary High School as they welcome DeLand. This is a critical 8A classification Region 1 matchup. We'll get to Game of the Week in just a moment, but first, let's get right to the highlights. Now it's time to take a look around the state of Florida. Let's go to the tape.
Let's get it started with Flagler Palm Coast hosting Spruce Creek. Check out Jerry and Ramos of Palm Coast. He gets a nice block here, boom, and then he's propelled 58 yards for the punt return strike. Quarterback Donovan Montoya, he's gonna go deep. He's gonna find Jordan Bell. Nice catch, young man, 45 yards later for another touchdown. Spruce Creek would get on the board with Marvin Scott, a rushing touchdown here, but this one was all FPC, 24-8. Let's head to Winter Haven as Lakeland invaded, and Lakeland, Mr. Mac Williams, he's gonna find number 1 in the end zone there. McWilliams then hits Leon Ziperior, hauls it in for a TD pass. That's the kid that everyone wants, all the recruits. McWilliams keeps it himself and marches to the end zone for 6. Lakeland too much for Winter Haven. Superior Collegiate now at IMG, and IMG is getting it done on special teams there. And check out Mr. DJ Turner. He'll cause the hit, pick up the fumble himself. Not sure if he was down, but it doesn't matter. He's racing, and IMG is scoring 49-0 Superior Collegiate. Let's take a look around the state of Florida. Vanguard 49-28 winners over Gainesville to improve to 7-0 on the season. Jacksonville reigns 40-27 winners over Oakleaf. Baron Coates, former middle school All-American for Football Hotbed, finishes with 260 yards passing. And Naples 31-10 winners over Golden Gate.
Hey, and it's been great being here in Central Florida, and now it's time to take a look. Eye on Central Florida, presented by Orlando Health, is next. Let's go to the tape.
Winter Park visiting University. Winter Park going up early in this game, 42-0. That's Casey Case to Jamari Pringle for the 40-yard TD. Casey's going to find Marcus Clark, the superstar here. And University, man, they just didn't have enough to keep pace. 55-7 Winter Park over University. Liberty Chargers hosting East River. It's homecoming. Jalen Ray, he's going to lead the charge. He was 6 of 10 passing for 2 TDs. One of his TDs there to Jarandi Swint, who's going to march all the way in for the Chargers touchdown. He's going to connect again with Swint on a 90-yard pass. Hits Lamar Peterson for a 25-yard score. They do the shake. The Chargers roll 45-8. Cocoa now, they're taking on Bradford. DJ Arroyo, he's going to pass to Jamari Williams for the 40-yard touchdown reception. And Arroyo, he wasn't done. He hands off now to the athlete, Keziah Holmes. This is a kid that everybody wants in 2020, the track star. He gets in for a score. DJ dropping back, launching it downfield to the most impressive Mr. Willie Gaines, the Toledo commit. Not for very long, I think. 64 yards on the TD. Coco's defense was dominant as well. Coach Ryan Schneider's got to be happy with the way his team is rebounding. Coco too much for Bradford, 44-7.
And still ahead on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report, we'll have Game of the Week here at Lake Mary High School as they welcome the D-Land Dogs. But first, let's take a look at Ione, South Florida when we return on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report, driven by Honda. Welcome back. Look, we're excited about Game of the Week here at Lake Mary High School in Central Florida. We're excited about being on the road with the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report, but we can't take our eye off of South Florida, the Mecca. Let's go to Ione, South Florida, presented by Honda, your South Florida Honda dealers. Let's go to the tape.
Western hosting Plantation. Western playing good defense early. Tackle, fumble, Shamar Hamilton picks it up. He's going to race 43 yards here for the touchdown, and Western would jump out early in this game. Plantation would march back. Gerald Nesbitt hits Jacoby George to put them on the board, but too much Western. Jesse Rivera to Allen Crawford. 17-yard TD and an upset win, 21-7 over Plantation. Hey, check out Naquan Wright, Miami Northwestern, Travis Powell Stadium. The rushing touchdown for #1 Carroll City. Daniel Richardson back to Naquan. He rushed for one. Now he passes to Michael Buckner for a 28-yard touchdown. And, oh, my goodness, is he going to catch a touchdown here, too? Man, he's just #1 in the area as far as athletes are concerned. And so is Carroll City. The defense, Greg Gradick, falling on the touchdown. 28-7, Carroll City over Northwestern. Let's go to the rivalry matchup in 5A. Cardinal Gibbons visiting American Heritage. Troy Stellato catches the Nick Scalzo pass in the end zone on the fade. Tajay Davis dives in, 14-0. Gibbons goes up in this game. But Edwin Rhodes in American Heritage, not done. Doug Emilian, he's not down here. He picks it up, and I now pronounce you very shifty and fast. Touchdown Heritage. They get in there and watch the big man, LaVelton Williams. He's going to tie the game here with a nice touchdown run. More schools should be recruiting him. He's very talented. 14 all on the game. Dayton Montiel, the football hotbed punter MVP showcase, specialist showcase winner, gets in for the 17-14 lead, and then disaster strikes. Edwin Rhodes' pass as he's trying to lead his team is picked off. Sidney Porter marches back, gets into the end zone, caps this thing off. The streak is broken. 24-14, Gibbons over Heritage. All right, let's check the scores in South Florida. Hialeah 42-0 winners over North Miami Beach. Riley Aguilar 14 for 21, 302 yards and 4 TDs. Central, too much for HML. Hialeah Miami Lakes, Rockets third shutout of the year. And Chaminade Madonna, too much for Booker T. Washington. Elijah Canyon caught 2 touchdown passes for 110 yards.
And still ahead on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report, we'll have all the exciting highlights for this game of the week, a back-and-forth battle between these two 8A Central Florida foes. But first, let's get to Ione, Tampa Bay when we return on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report, driven by Honda. Welcome back to the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report presented by Honda. Listen, we're excited about the game of the week that's to take place. 5-1 D-Land taking on 4-2 Lake Mary. The Rams have been wonderful hosts. This is a great back-and-forth matchup, and we can't wait to bring you the highlights. But first, let's go to the other side of the state. Ione, Tampa Bay is next. Let's go to the tape.
Let's go to Venice visiting Northport, and Venice's Brandon Gregory gets in for the rushing touchdown here. Then Hayden Wolf, he connect with Sam Whitney in space, and he would get in for another touchdown. Wolf this time is going to find Gregory after eluding the tacklers. Watch him here, hitting Gregory. His second touchdown of the game, and Venice too much for Northport, 57-0. Jesuit visiting Robinson, and Jesuit put up 24 first half points. They're going to down Robinson as Letharo Overstreet takes the Cave Koppel pass 41 yards. It wouldn't be enough. Dane Belton takes the kick, marches 85 yards down the field. This is the second consecutive week he's had a special teams touchdown, and that will be capped off by a Matthew Pittman run, 15 yards in for the score here. The Tiger defense had a strong second half. Miles Coates with the pick six, 21 yards for the score. Jesuit 52-15 over Robinson. Bloomingdale taking on Tampa Bay Tech. That's Lance Alderson hitting Terrell Farrell, 25 yards for the TD. Then Maryland commit for Tampa Bay Tech. That's Trayshawn Ward, 80 yards for the touchdown for the Titans. This young man is super special, but too much Alderson and Farrell on the night. Big hook up there, 57 yards for the TD. It would go back and forth. Levi Williams here, 57 yards on the ground for the score, and I now pronounce you very fast, and big plays on defense will put this one home for the Bloomingdale Bulls. INT Jalen Jackson. Bloomingdale shocking Tampa Bay Tech. First win in 3 years, 33-24. All right, let's check the scores in Tampa Bay. Chamberlain, too much for Hillsborough, 19-13. Plant City, 35-6 winners over Durant. Blackston Plunk continues his great season, 172 yards and 3 TDs. And Sarasota, too much for Manatee, 24-13. They started the game with 21 first half points. And here's a look at the top 25 football hotbed Florida State rankings for Week 8. Still ahead on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report. It's time for Game of the Week. Lake Mary hosting DeLand will we return on the Florida High School Football Report. It's a hotbed world.
Welcome back to footballhotbed.com here in Central Florida on the road for this wonderful matchup between Lake Mary and the DeLand Dogs. Lake Mary comes into this contest with a point to prove. 2 losses on the season, but they are a fundamentally sound team. DeLand is physical. They've got guys that go both sides, but a lot of Division I players on both sides. A back and forth sluggerfest. This is this week's Game of the Week for Week 8. Let's go to the tape.
Lake Mary 4-2 in the season hosting DeLand. These two very familiar with each other in 8A in Central Florida. DeLand only 1 loss on the season. Lake Mary only 2 on the season. Big upset if they can get the win. Early on, not looking so good. Drew Brendenstein for DeLand, 24 yards on the field goal. He had 2 in the first quarter. 6-0 DeLand Bulldogs, and then Damaris Bellamy, the South Florida commit, the big man getting in for the rushing touchdown, 43 yards on the touch. And Lake Mary's defense, however, would respond. That's Brock Johnson taking down Deontay Marks. Lake Mary would then get into the end zone. Pedro Rodriguez, a 7-yard grab from Gunnar Smith for the touchdown. Jaden Nerschel, the quarterback keeper from 4 yards out, would get in for the score. DeLand, they go back and forth between quarterbacks, 19-7 at this point. And then Michael Cardengio for Lake Mary would go 41 yards and get them right back into this game. It was a back and forth contest, 19-14. The Rams would answer, but DeLand, Leon Rowe would hit Deontay Marks, 26-14, the touchdown there, 44 yards. And then Pedro Rodriguez, his second touchdown reception on the day, 24 yards in the air from Smith to bring the Rams within 5 at the half. Lake Mary trailed 26-21. We caught up with head coach Allen from DeLand.
Had a lot of opportunity there. We scored it 3 times, only had 12 points. You know, you can't do that. You need to get touchdowns in the red zone. You can't let good, well-coached teams hang around. we've made a lot of progress, but we haven't made enough progress where we can let these guys do that. So we got a dogfight on our hand, and that's of our own making.
Second half play, Lake Mary looking to get back into this game, down 5 and let it roll. He would hit Deontay Marks for the touchdown. DeLand would get going early, 33-21 at this point. And Michael Cardingio would get on the board here again, his second touchdown of the day, 33-28. The visitors only a 5-point lead, but then Bellamy, his second touchdown of the day. DeLand would begin to take off here entering the fourth quarter. And then Mr. Smith would get picked off. The true freshman, Rasheem Cuthrell, would take the ball down to the 50-yard line, and this is where DeLand began to put this game out of reach for Lake Mary. And then Mr. Roll would go up top, hitting Cameron Miller, put the icing on the cake. 32 yards on the touchdown strike. 47-28 is your final score. We caught up with the head coach.
Yeah, we played well on offense all night long. My disappointment at the half was in our defense. I think we shored a few things up. We made about 3 different adjustments along the line, but I think finally we got something that helped to take care of their RPO stuff, which was killing us throughout the first half. So I'm real proud of our kids, and Deontay had a great ball game, and 2 more playmakers emerged, and we needed that very badly because we've been kind of not a one-trick pony, but 1.5-trick pony, and now we've got some other people that they need to prepare for.
What were you saying as a leader to get your team back on track and put this one away in the second half?
Stay focused. You got to stay focused through the whole game. Don't get down on yourself. Just stay focused.
What do you guys have to do to go forward in 8A and get to that state championship?
Like I said, stay focused, come to practice, execute every day, play smart. We're on to the next game.
Look through the camera. If you want to shout out anybody, this is your time. You're the MVP. It's your time to shine.
Yeah, man, I'm an MVP. I came out here and balled on these boys. Shout out to Florida. Shout out to Football Hotbed.
Every week we give a young man an opportunity to boost his college recruiting, to tell the college coaches he wants to recruit him to turn on the tape. This week's turn on the tape is Pedro Rodriguez, number 17 for Lake Mary. This talented wide receiver tight end is truly a special talent. Let's turn on the tape.
College football coaches, you need to turn on the tape of Pedro Rodriguez. The 6'3", 225-pound senior tight end is the man. 8 catches, 112 yards, and 2 TDs versus DeLand. He's definitely worthy of your attention.
All right, it's the most exciting time of every show. It's the Week 8 Plays of the Week, including the #1 play, the Jackpot Play of the Week. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go right to the tape.
Top plays, number 5, Mr. Dane Belton, Tampa Jesuit. 85 yards on the punt return. And listen, that's his second straight week with a punt return for a touchdown. Number 4, DJ Turner, IMG. Not only he makes the tackle, but he gets in for the score. Number 3, Naquan Wright. The running back passes to Michael Buckner for a touchdown. Number 2, just an amazing catch by Lamar Patterson. 25-yard catch. Deserves a nice handshake. And number 1, the Jackpot Play of the Week, Edwin Rhodes, American Heritage, will throw the pass here. It's tipped. And Sidney Porter from Cardinal Gibbons would race 70 yards, getting the upset win for Gibbons. And he hits the jackpot. When you make great grades, you can hit the jackpot. Did you know the Florida Lottery has contributed more than $5 billion to send over 750,000 students to college? The Florida Lottery puts a spotlight on education to help students like Sydney shine.
All right, so that'll do it here at Lake Mary High School. DeLand comes in, game of the week, and takes care of business. They march forward in 8A football, but we march forward into Week 9. That's all the time we have for the FootballHotbed.com Florida High School Football Report in Week 8. It's a hotbed world. We'll see you next week.